So Stevie, disappointing result here at Petershill Park today against Glasgow City, but what did you make of the match?
I wouldn't even say disappointing, I would say extremely frustrated and a touch of embarrassment, to be perfectly honest. You know, we had a freak result against Hibs a few weeks ago, and where we said to the girls, a club like Forfar Farmington shouldn't be conceding 8 goals against anyone, because you know we've got girls that can play, and we've got girls that are aggressive, and we've got some girls in there that have got some pride to play with this strip on and this badge and what the badge represents. Unfortunately today we got an absolute lesson on how to do the basics as a good team does. And for us, not being able to do them at all. So look, I'm not going to stand here and support the players today at all, because there's a lot of them hurting in there, but hurt only takes you so far. If you're not prepared to go in for 50-50s and compete to win them, if you're not prepared to header the ball on the edge of your 18-yard box, or header the ball in the 6-yard box, if you're not prepared to go and fight against the opposition for when the ball does drop in your box to make sure you can clear it and have that determination and have that real resilience to bounce back, then you're only going to get what you put into the game. And today, you know, we actually started off, I think, in the first half, the better of the two teams. We had a chance very early on. We had a strike from about 25 yards that just went past the post. We had another one that made the keeper save. And you know, as soon as the first goal goes in, we just go, that's it. We start feeling sorry for ourselves. Our body language is just shocking. You know, if I'm an opposition player looking at some of my players when we concede a goal, I just think, that's it, game over. Game over. You slunch over, your head goes down. I think maybe one of the only positives I can say is a few weeks ago the girls would have started arguing with each other, and that's the sort of thing, the culture that we're trying to get rid of, is that passing on blame. I didn't see much of that today, but what I did see was individuals not prepared to win their 1v1s or do the basics. You know, defending the first goal, you know, is a free kick, and it goes straight in the goal, bounces on the 6-yard box and goes in the goal. So we've got to deal with that. The second one is us not reacting quicker than the opposition. They play in a cross from a corner kick that should be dealt with, and it goes through the legs, and again you're on a hiding to nothing. You know, you're on a hiding to nothing. So I think for us, we as a coaching staff, we're now delighted that we've got the break, because it allows us to reset some standards and set a vision now for the second half of the season, to kind of go, this is what we need to do, and this is how we need to do it. And there has to be changes. There has to be big changes. That's in regards to how we do things at training, how we do things on a game day, how the girls prep, how us as a staff prep, and at the same time as well bringing new players in, because at the moment we're not good enough. We're not good enough across the pitch. For any player to turn around and say that they are, they need to go and do a little bit of self-reflection. Am I being harsh on them today? No, I'm being realistic. I'm being truthful. We've not been good enough. So the only way you can get better is by looking at yourself, looking at things that you can achieve, looking at things that you can affect. Because as a coaching staff, we can't coach desire. We can coach you technically, tactically, but we can't coach desire. You've either got it or you don't. And at the moment, confidence is low. So, you know, those little rubs of the green don't go for you. When you are confident, you tend to get more of those. So we need to build the confidence up over the break, get some games under our belt, start scoring some goals, and start playing like a Forfar Farmington team that we've been known for all over the years. A team that makes it hard for their opposition, will outwork, will outperform, will outrun an opposition, and do the basics well. And at the moment, we're not doing that.
Obviously, you had Kayleigh in goals today, Fiona McNichol out injured.
Yeah.
How much of a knock-on effect does that have, especially against a team like Glasgow?
Yeah, of course. Look, you don't want that to happen at any time, and we've worked really hard. We've got 2 goalkeepers, and unfortunately both of them were unavailable today. Throughout the week after the Rangers game, look, to be perfectly honest, Fiona McNichol has been outstanding for us this year. She played on Wednesday against Rangers, against our better judgment. She shouldn't have played. Physically, she wasn't right, but I tell you what, she's a girl that this club needs. And again, I'm going to be honest, you know, we need 16 other people like that. She couldn't play today. As a staff, we worked hard throughout the week. You know, finding goalkeepers is like finding hen's teeth. We found three. And we actually had one that was going to be playing with us this morning, and unfortunately 12 o'clock I got a text message from the girl who was going to be coming that she couldn't get away from her work, and we then had to go to emergency Kayleigh Bruff. To be fair to Kayleigh though, Kayleigh was a regional goalkeeper at a younger age group, so you know she's not just someone that we've plucked in, you know, name out the hat. She's played there before. I thought she handled herself quite well. You know, she'll look at herself and go, I could have done better here, I could have done better there, but to be honest, the girls gave her a round of applause in there because she came off with a couple of good saves, and I thought she was nice and calm when she did have the ball. So, you know, to ask, did it have an impact? Yes, it did. Was there anything that we can do to control that? No. Unfortunately, some of these decisions are taken away from you through no fault of your own. But you know, I tell you what, trying to find goalkeepers is it's like Willy Wonka golden ticket, isn't it?
Obviously, I spoke to you after the Rangers game.
Yeah.
You've got a certain style you want to try and go for games against a team like Glasgow City. As you mentioned, you know, you're very much in the game early on, going for chances, going for goals. When you come up against a team like Glasgow City, does that almost have a negative impact when they get the leads? They almost get their tails up, and you're still trying to play your football. Make it harder. Do
you know what? You know, and you were really kind to us, and thanks for that. I'll not forget that after the Rangers game, where as an individual standing on the side, you could see that we were trying to play a certain way. You can't always do that. You can't always do that when, one, you don't have the personnel to do it because of injury and what have you. You also can't do that every week when you're playing against the quality of Glasgow City. And let's face it, they're a cracking team, we're cracking players. And what we've got to do then is we've got to make it difficult for them. I go back to our home game at Station Park, and for the first half we competed with them for 45 minutes, and in 44 we had a deflection on goal that was an absolute sucker punch before the half-time whistle went. The second half we picked up 3 injuries, and that completely crushed us, and in the end I think it was 6 or 7. Was it a 6 or 7-0 game? Probably not, but that's what the result was. You know, we're not naive enough as a coaching staff to think that we can play a certain way against every team, and again today we start really well, but it's the body language, it's about the mindset that when you concede, it's about going, that's okay, just continue to play what we've been doing, because again, the first 2 opportunities came from us. That's a foot or a few inches either side, and it's a goal, and we go 1-0 up, and then it's a case of trying to play and trying to see the game out from 88 minutes. But no, listen, they're a great team, and they show that today. Could I say if we had a goalkeeper it would have been a better result? No, I can't, because that's unfair. The result is what it is. We're hurting from it. We can't dwell on it. We go into the break now, set some clear objectives, and we work bloody hard.
And just finally on that, is a big break. It's perhaps, as you say, kind of a good thing. It gives you more time to work on certain aspects of it. How optimistic are you now for the second part of the season, given that you've got that time now?
Given the fact that we've got time, look, it's about myself, about Nathan, about Claire, about Chris and all the other staff. Fraser with the goalkeepers, making sure that we can give the girls confidence. But first and foremost, it has to start with them. They either want to be a Premier League player or they don't. So first of all, they have to go away and do a bit of self-reflection, you know, because we can encourage them and motivate them as much as we can, but that's not to say that just because of that we're going to get out the issues that we've got. There's a clear lack of confidence at the moment. We need to build that confidence up. We need to go and play some games, score some goals, get some wins. That'll give us the confidence to start doing things that we're not doing at the moment. But it also allows me to bring in some new players as well, you know, and bring players in to make this squad competitive. You know, today we've got a couple of injuries, so we're then light on the bench, and we've got some players here that are not today because they're playing with our second team. So, you know, we've got to make sure that we've got some depth, we've got some good players coming in, which is great. You know, I have to give a special mention today to the trialist for us today. She's came in and she's absolutely ran that back 4 ragged, and she got a well-deserved goal, you know. So that's someone coming in today who's only going to get 10-15 minutes, but because of another injury we've got to throw her in 35 minutes in. So, apologies, it's a very long-winded answer. I feel confident enough that once we start applying ourselves, once we start getting confidence, and once we start to get a couple more points on the board, I think we'll be okay. But at the same time, not naive enough or arrogant enough to believe that that's just going to happen because we say it's going to happen. We actually need to go and put that into practice now.